Hey guys, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is your daily show. I'm going to do something very different for our daily show today because I'm going to do a live Q&A with you guys, with the fans. You guys will dictate what we'll be talking about. You can ask me questions in the live chat. Maybe we will have some special guests on the show as well throughout the day. We'll see how it goes, but I thought that Fridays, I'm going to try and make the show, unless there's heavily breaking news that is happening, and then I'm going to start the show on a Friday to allow you guys to dictate the conversation. Now, before we get going, I know that we've got some fans over here from Facebook as well, because we're going to be cross-streaming this particular show on Facebook and on YouTube. To the guys on Facebook, you need to go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe there, because we have daily shows every single day about cricket. So you can go over there if you want to get involved, if you want to give your opinions, if you want to hear about stories in cricket. YouTube is the place to go for us, as well as obviously cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates, which you guys will be used to, because that's where you'll be getting majority of your updates from our website. But if you go to YouTube, we update you with amazing shows. We have exclusive content on our YouTube channel, and it's growing quite quickly, and we would like you guys to get involved. So I'm going to be doing this more regularly if you guys want it. So let me know in the comment section after this video has streamed if you enjoyed the show, if you want more of these type of shows in the future. We will try to get some cricketers on the show as well down the line as well, as best as we can. At the moment, it's quite tricky because they're all in a biosecure bubble. So a lot of the content is going to come out from the bubble through their social media platforms, etc. You see the Cobras are doing Instagram live with some of their players as well. So you must go check that out. Before we get going, before we get started, you know what you have to do. You have to subscribe to this channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Smash that like button, get shared, do all of those fancy things as well, so that we can start trending, whether it is on Facebook, whether it is on YouTube as well. Go ahead and smash that like button, get involved in the comment section, share it with all your friends and family, and of course, subscribe too. So let's get going with this particular video. Let's get all your questions in the comment section. Ask me anything you want. We're going to talk about cricket. Maybe I'll start it off. We had an amazing show yesterday on the called Offside Maidens. We have an all-women's podcast, as many of you may know. The guys on YouTube will obviously know that, where we have a full women's podcast cast. So basically, only women on the show, and we will get guests as well. So yesterday, for example, the host of the show couldn't make it, and one of our panelists, who's also a cricketer, she couldn't make it either. So it was the twins and Emily that gave an amazing show. They spoke about various topics. Now I'm going to touch on some of the things that they spoke about. Particularly, they spoke about the IPL, which was awesome. Some major signings happening over there, which we need to talk about. I think I think we have to talk about it, and that is Chris Morris going for 16.25 in over 32 million rand if you're watching it, and a $2.5 million, which is exceptional how they did that and how much they paid for Chris Morris. It's crazy. I think a lot of people were quite shocked about how much he actually went for, because, I mean, I don't know why, with RCB needing bowlers, particularly maybe all-rounders as well, letting him go was quite shocking. Maybe they thought if they let him go, they could get him for cheaper. But ultimately, he went for the most expensive. He's the most expensive player in the IPL history now. Most expensive overseas player as well. So he broke 2 records in one evening, which is quite remarkable. So Chris Morris obviously going for a massive, massive sum. He's one of the guys that I would say was a major signing with regards to the IPL. There are some others. I'm going to put on some of the guys that have been retained and the guys that have gotten contracts for this particular IPL. I'll put it up on the screen right now. It's quite interesting because another guy that we have to talk about, and I'm so happy for him, a youngster, Marco Jansen, getting picked up by the champions, Mumbai Indians. So I'm really excited to see whether he will play, whether he will have an opportunity to play, because that will be phenomenal. Left-arm seamer, quick, and obviously he has a twin brother as well. I did an exclusive interview with him on our channel. Go and look for that. It's in a Lockdown episode, in a Lockdown series. We have a playlist on our YouTube channel for the Lockdown series. You can just scroll down there and you'll find the Jansen twins exclusive content, exclusive video, which is awesome. I'm really excited for you guys to get to know them better, and that's the perfect way to do it. So I'm going to put it up, the screenshots from SuperSport. Here we have the salaries of some of the players. Got AB de Villiers over there for RCB, Imran Tahir, Faf du Plessis, Lungi Ngidi, obviously with CSK, so they've all been retained. Anrich Nokia with DC and Kagiso Rabada retained. They were awesome last year, making the final. Excellent. In the top 3 of wicket takers in the whole tournament, which was excellent. Obviously, Anrich Nokia getting an amazing achievement of getting the fastest ball in IPL history, and also one of the fastest balls he Yorkers that he bowled, in swinging Yorker to Josh Butler to dismiss him was excellent. That was a crazy viral story that we did on him, that went viral on Facebook and went viral all over social media. When we captured from the IPL, we showed some of the footage of that. It was incredible over. He hit 156, 158, I think it was in that same over. So it was incredible piece of bowling from Anrich Nokia, and that's when he really took the world stage and set it alight, and that's when people really took note of him. I mean, so many people wanted to feature him. I actually got a call from an Indian publication, and they wanted to know more about him because we did an exclusive interview with him during lockdown, which you guys must go check out. If you really want to get to know players in South African cricket, we have a playlist of over 50 episodes on our YouTube channel. The On Lockdown series is there for you to see. You just click on it, and you can go look at all of those interviews. It's like everybody's history in one video. They tell you their past, how they got into the cricket, how they dealt with lockdown, all of those things. And it's really entertaining. Even if you're watching it now, it's still informative for you to pick up those things as well. We've got, of course, David Miller. He's now at RR, obviously retained. Then we've got Chris Morris. Obviously, you can see the salary, $2.2 billion. I mean, Chris Morris, it's uncanny that he's went for so much. Maybe some people would say that they don't think he's worth that much. I thought that Chris Morris is quite inconsistent when it comes to his bowling. He does take a lot of wickets, but I still feel there's an inconsistency in his game. We've got Quinton de Kock there for Mumbai Indians retained, and then Marco Jansen, which was a signing. Excellent for that young man over there to get that opportunity. We will be bringing out a piece from Aditya, who is from Mumbai, one of our amazing content producers, that will be giving us some insights into the IPL and the guys that were signed from a South African perspective. We will be covering the tournament as well from a South African perspective. We solely do South African cricket on this channel for now. We will, obviously, as we grow, as you get more of your fans to tune in and follow us and go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and we get the numbers up, and you join our Patreon, because we have a Patreon as well. Go to the link in the description. As we grow, the more content you will get, the more global we can go, the more global content we can get, etc., etc. So we're going to start with South Africa at home and try our best to improve cricket in South Africa. So let's get into the comment section. I see the comments are coming in quite nicely. We have Shoaib saying, "Hi Khalid, how did you start your journey as a sports writer? What are challenges being won in South Africa? Who were your favorite cricketers?" Great question. Good way to start. Okay, so let me start with my journey in digital media, because that's actually when it started. When I was about in grade 10, 11, about 16, 17 years old, I started my own blog. I would say website blog in a way, because music is a massive passion of mine. I really love music. So I started a website called Music for Teens. It's not around anymore. It used to be around, but I started a website while I was in high school, where I did reviews on certain albums, certain artists. I created playlists for people. So for different occasions, for example, if you're going on a long road or on a holiday, I would create a playlist in a certain order that will ease you into the drive, wake you up at a certain point to get your blood boiling and get you excited and singing along. And then obviously some calming music that will keep you going if it's a very long drive. You don't want to be sleeping at the wheel. So I add some music there that can keep you going and keep you nodding that head for the rest of it. So I did some playlists like that. I did some playlists for holiday specials, did some birthday specials if you have a birthday going, certain tracks that were good for the cars. I used to rank them. I also used to predict future hits So I would look at all the future songs that are coming out and predict which ones will be hits, which will not be. I had access to music before it was released to the public. I got obviously accredited for that, so I can have that opportunity to listen to music before it was released, and I would like judge it and then say like, okay, cool, this one is probably going to be a hit. This is probably not going to be a hit. I remember this not discovering him, but I heard Ed Sheeran at the beginning of his career before he was famous. He had a song called Little Bird that came out, and I spoke about it. And I predicted that this was going to be a big artist, and it actually happened that it ended up being so. At the beginning, it didn't happen. His career was started off quite slowly, and now he's a global superstar. But he was just one of the guys that I spoke about on that particular blog. Did some album reviews, etc. And so that's how I got into my own little journalism journey in a way. I started there. Then, because I'm a massive Manchester United fan, when I was at about 19 in high school, while I was started, because I was also a musician, I'm also a singer-songwriter, and that was one of my passions as well. So while I was doing that, I went ahead and I started a digital magazine, a digital app called United Fanatics, which is all about United Fanatics and Manchester United. It was a fan-driven magazine and all about Manchester United, and that's how I started actually getting into the journalism side of things. Majority of the content was produced by English fans from Manchester. So I don't know if you guys are Man United fans, but the likes of Adam McCullough from Full Time Devils, or now it's known as Stretford Paddock, and the likes of Mark Goldbridge and the Football Terrorist and United Stand, all of those guys featured in my mag as well. That we gave them exclusive exposure at the beginning of, before they got really big and before they actually launched off. It was at the beginning of the career. Full Time Devils was already a massive YouTube channel at the time, or growing to be there or getting there. And we actually had Adam McCullough on one of the front covers of the magazine. So that's when I started into journalism. But the cost to run it was too expensive for me to run it. Obviously, images for the magazine was really costly because Man United signed a new deal, and it got really expensive to run it for image rights alone. So I had to stop that at that time because I couldn't afford to run it anymore and produce it. It was in the App Store. It's still there in the Apple App Store and in Google Play Store if you guys want to go check that out. I will relaunch it again. When we make some money with Cricket Fanatics magazine, then we can really grow that again and start doing United Fanatics again and other magazines in the future. Obviously, that is my dream, to have multiple magazines in the future. But we started with, how I got into cricket was while I was studying, just after I got my degree in communication science and psychology, I decided to learn more about the industry. So I got an internship. I went over to SA Cricket Magazine, and I started my journalism journey there. And that's where I did a lot of my beginning work. I worked there for over 2.5 years, almost 3. And then I decided to leave and start my own business. And that's only about 1.5 years ago. It was during the World Cup in July 1st of 2019. And I started Cricket Fanatics magazine. So that's when my journey really has started and blossomed into what we have today as a community, because I feel this is a community where all of you guys can be a part of. And I really love that you all are a part of it. So stay tuned to it, keep subscribing, keep sharing. Let's grow this platform into something much bigger than all of us. Okay, so let's go into the next. Thank you for saying that Emily did a splendid job on the previous show. She really did. She was very nervous before it. And then she went live and the nerves went away. Just before the show, she wasn't as nervous as she was before it. And I think she did an excellent job. So thank you for the support. What's your final verdict on Chris Morris? He has been given enough opportunities at the international level. Now, my verdict on Chris Morris is, I did this on a previous show. I think during the IPL, me and Aditya did a show. And we spoke about all various things with regards to that. I wonder if I can give you a proper analysis of this right now. If I think about it, because I need to really see him play in the CSA T20 Challenge to really judge him again, because there was a period that he wasn't playing in South Africa. Obviously, there was a large period where he wasn't playing cricket. Obviously, we know that. So at the beginning, my initial judgments of Chris is that he's when I saw him play internationally, at least, he's very. I felt that with the ball, he was very inconsistent, and with the bat, he's more of an X factor type of player. Um, he kind of jumps at opportunities to take a game away from you, scoring quick 12s off a couple of balls, or quick 18s or quick 20s off a couple of balls. Something that South Africa actually needed in a number 7 role. But I thought that if Chris Morris was going to be in the side, because of the pace that he bowls as well, I don't see Chris really playing like a holding type of role for South Africa. I think he's more of a type of guy that must be a strike bowler for South Africa. So when you that's the pace that he bowls, and that's the type of bowler that I see him as, someone that can lead a bowling attack, open the bowling, like we see him doing for the Titans right now. But I feel that is not what he's going to get when he plays for South Africa. We got KG Rabada, we got Lungi Ngiri, we got Andrich Nokia, that all are strike bowlers for South Africa and can take the new ball. You only have 2 bowlers that can take the new ball. So to have Chris in that mix as well could be difficult to fit him in. Because in T20 cricket specifically, a lot of the slower bowlers, a lot of the bowlers that have variations, they normally take the lead and take a lot of the wickets and actually help out the spinners in the middle overs. So if we're going to get an all-rounder into the side, I feel that we need someone that is maybe in the 130s, 128, 130s, because it's harder to face them in T20 cricket, especially in the middle overs when teams are trying to push up the run rate and score quickly and pick up their strike rates. That's when they make mistakes with the slower balls and the slower deliveries. So that's why I think someone like Dwayne Pretorius or Vian Mulder and those type of ilk of all-rounders fit the Proteas better than a Chris Morris right now. But I think he should be in the setup. I mean, maybe there's a spot for him in the squad. We haven't heard from Boucher what he thinks about Chris at this point. We're going to obviously have to see how he performs in the CSA T20 Challenge. And if he can be consistent there, I'm sure that his name will be in their hat for international selection. I'm sure that he himself would like to be in the national side, in that World Cup squad. So that's my thoughts on Chris Morris. I know not everybody will agree with me, and that's what this is all about. This is just my opinion, not the opinion of Cricket Fanatics magazine. If you differ in your opinions, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Even after this video is live, start commenting on YouTube. To the guys that are tuning in from Facebook right now, head over to our YouTube channel, click that subscribe button, click that notification bell so that you can get all exclusive content that we produce for you. We do a show every single day except a Saturday. The only time we do a Saturday show is if there's test cricket or international cricket on that day. I kind of have to take a break in between, guys, because I give you a show every single night to date. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do consistently, and I want to do it as long as there are fans watching. We've got Werner, one of our loyal patrons. Definitely a mistake by RCB. He was their best pace bowler by far in the last edition, and he was. He took a lot of wickets for them. I thought, like, for example, for the RCB, I think it was one of the games we took 4 for 25, I think, or 26. I can't remember the exact score. You can correct me in the comment section. But the wickets that he took, like, were all of different deliveries, and it wasn't like a build-up. It was like one wide delivery, someone's miscued the shot. One went straight up into the air. One was a good Yorker. And then the other one was also another short delivery that someone edged. But it was all inconsistent on a lot of his wickets. So even there, it's not like, generally speaking, with fast bowlers, you'll see them set up a batsman or like in a certain way, which is excellent to see. I love to do that, and I love to see that happening when you can see what a bowler is doing and setting up a batsman. So I feel that he is a bit inconsistent. If he's going to be a strike bowler, that inconsistency I feel is okay. You can deal with that because he's the wicket taker. Looking for him to turning to him to take all your wickets. But I feel that in a team like South Africa, who has so many strike bowlers and so many quicks, he needs to play more than a holding role in the middle overs if he's only going to come in the middle overs. Especially with the spinners, and especially with it being in India, because we know we're going to be dominating. We're probably going to play 2 spinners or 3 even in the World Cup. Kyle Jamieson was a red hot pick. Surprised about how much he went for too. I mean, he was almost the most expensive player in this particular IPL. So for this campaign, I mean, if Chris Morris didn't go for 16.25, then he would have probably been that guy. Marco Jansen indeed is needed by us. Left arm quick is gold these days. Of course he is. RCB batting heavy again. I'm an RCB supporter, guys, for a long time. And I feel like I can't change my team. No, in the IPL it's different because you can kind of change your teams based and you can follow players really. because there's so many changes that happen. So many big international players switch around. Like, I mean, look at David Miller. A lot of guys would have been Kings 11 Punjab because of him. Now he's gone to RR, and now people are going to probably move over there and talk and follow RR now. It's the same like with majority of guys. Like, I followed Gibbs at the beginning. Gibbs is not around, so then I followed AB. AB's on RCB now, so and I love Virat Kohli. I've always been a big Virat Kohli fan. Sorry to our South African fans if you don't like that, but I'm a big Virat Kohli fan. I became more of a fan when I met Virat and I had a conversation with him. I think that's when I really became a bigger fan of his. It was a lot better to actually see the personality that he is and how kind he actually was. And he didn't need to take out time to chat to me. I mean, it was just like by coincidence as I was walking to the press box. He didn't need to actually have a conversation with me. You probably won't even remember me, to be honest. So that's the funny thing about it. But yeah, RCB always have lacked bowlers. Like, I don't understand why they don't try to break the bank for a good Yorker bowler. I mean, a guy like Trent Boult, even Tim Southey, for example. I don't know if he was in the draft this year, but maybe an Andrich Nokia would have been an excellent signing for them. I know they went for Dale Steyn last year. But an excellent Yorker bowler would be perfect for them. Someone that can really take wickets and really help them defend those totals. Because how many times did we see RCB score massive totals and then the opposition chases it down? Like, it's shocking that they haven't won a title yet in the IPL with all those talented players. For years they had Gale, Brendan McCullum. Now they have like someone like Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers in the same team, and they still haven't won a title. I just can't understand it. It's nerve-wracking. Almost like supporting the Proteas in the World Cup. So it's quite frustrating. Cricket Fanatics Magazine, why is David Miller going for such a low amount? I can't answer you that question. That is just how it is. David Miller didn't play. I think he only played one game last season. He hardly played last season, which is crazy because he's been such a soldier in IPL. He's been so famous in IPL. I think maybe it's a consistency and also maybe fitting in those overseas players. A lot of the major overseas players are, generally speaking, fast bowlers or batsmen that they pick, all-rounders, because India produces so many spinners that I don't think they actually try and sign major spinners unless you like Imran Tahir or Rashid Khan. You can see that Tabraiz Shamsi didn't get a contract, and it's shocking because, I mean, he's the second best T20 bowler in the world at the moment. He's number 2 on the rankings. He's phenomenal bowler. I think he's absolutely world class, and he's improved so much over the last couple of years. That inconsistencies in his game where he goes for massive runs doesn't happen often, and when it does, like yesterday, like today in the CSA T20 Challenge, he went for I think 12 or 16 runs in the first over. After that, he pulled it back. It was amazing, his performance from Tabraiz Shamsi, and he's really learning how to do so. So I don't actually know what the reason is for him for having that amount. I just want to try and see if a friend of mine can join the stream. I'm just going to try to invite him. Hopefully he's not available because it's very late in India, and I always enjoy chatting to him, and he gives some excellent insights into these type of things. And to the guys from Cricket Fanatics Magazine, my normal panelists, if you guys want to hop on the screen, I posted the link in the group. If you guys want to come, don't be shy. Come on and answer the questions with me. I probably won't be able to ask every single question because I probably won't know the answer to every single question, and maybe you guys can help me out and we can decipher all of these questions that are coming through in the comments right now. And we've got over here, oh guys, and the super chat's on. Let me put on the super chat so you guys can make sure that your comment is read. There should be a $sign on Facebook as well for you guys to contribute. If you want me to definitely read your comment, hop on the stream, $sign on the top bottom left hand corner for all your YouTube followers. You guys know the drill. You guys have been contributing, so thank you so much. To the guys that are tuning in on Facebook right now, jump over to our YouTube channel and please, let me put on the fancy button, subscribe to this channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. So, Harley, do you think that AB will play in the World Cup? That's an interesting question. I'm going to answer it. Yes, I do think that he will be approached. I'm not going to say 100% that he's going to play. I feel that we'll never know with AB whether he will say yes or whether he say no. I do know that Boucher would want him to play if he's performing well in all the other tournaments around the world. I think that Boucher will definitely approach him and ask him if he wants to play. And that's the whole catch-22 question. Do we take AB back or don't we take AB back? Now, I want you guys to get involved with the comment section. That's my major question to you today on the stream. Should we take AB back or shouldn't we take AB back? On Facebook, get involved in the comment section, not in the live chat. Get involved in the comment section of the video. Let me know if you want him back. On YouTube, after this video is done, after the stream is done, go over to the YouTube channel again, go back to this video and comment in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Should South Africa take AB back for the World Cup? I do think that Boucher will approach him. Boucher said it in a numerous amount of press conferences that if AB is available, he will ask AB to come back. Let's go to Werner again. Morris has been very inconsistent in the IPL, to be honest. One of the very best death bowlers and equally good in power play. Let's go. He said he's been very consistent in the IPL, to be honest. I don't think so, actually. I think, okay. So, yes, with regards to figures. So, when you look at his stats at the end of a game, it looks great. 4 wickets for 36 or 4 wickets for 48 or whatever the case may be. Massive wickets that he takes in games and stuff. But when I watch those overs and the way it happens, the way he gets his wickets, that's, you actually go into it and watch the way he gets his wickets. Sometimes it is quite sketchy, or there's a lot of mistakes that are made by the batsman. And at that particular time, it's fine. I just would like to see him play a more holding type of role, throttling the opposition batsman in the middle overs, because he'll probably have to play that type of style. Okay, this is my opinion. I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct here, guys. You can correct me. I'm not the Mr. Know-it-all about cricket, so you guys can also teach me a lot, and that's what I want to know. I want to learn from you guys. That's why you need to subscribe, so you can get on more live chats, so you can get more live videos, so you can get more involved, so you can teach me as well a lot about the game. I only tell you from what I've seen and what I've heard around me and what I've experienced. Do cricket legends in South Africa not get the same amount of respect and recognition as other nations such as England do? I think we give out cricket legends a lot of respect. I mean, I interviewed quite a few on the Lockdown series. I did Lance Kloosner, which is excellent. Go over ahead and look at that particular interview. He gave us some excellent insights into the thought processes and mentality of cricketers and young cricketers and what they should do. So for any young cricketer, that would be a good episode to watch. I've interviewed the likes of Vinnie Barnes, Faik Davids, Ashwell Prince, so many in that On Lockdown series that you can go have a look and listen to. We've had shows talking about the legends in the game, from even post-isolation, all of those things, pre-isolation, post-isolation, all of those type of things we spoke about. The apartheid era, cricket in that period, how players struggled during that era. All of those episodes, if you go to our Lockdown series playlist, you'll find that you can binge it. There's 50 episodes on our Lockdown series. And then there's an Unlocked series, which is after lockdown, kind of when they started playing cricket again. And I've got a couple of interviews in there. I will expand it, obviously, as more cricketers become available. I will expand that series to season 2, season 3, probably make it a whole little television series in a way. We've got one from Mubin. First question: who do you think will win the T20 CSA tournament, and when will you accept me on Facebook? Khalid, I'm sorry, I do have a lot of invites on Facebook. I don't actually use Facebook enough for me to actually look through all of them, so I'm sorry. I'll go have a look for your invite. I don't really generally accept this. A lot of people on Facebook in general. I tried, so I'm sorry that I didn't accept it quite yet. Who do I think will win the tournament? I think it's too early for me to say right now, because I can only talk about what is on paper. I was quite surprised with certain players that the Knights picked in their particular side. I thought there was some players like Gerald Coetzee that maybe should have gotten a go. I think Andries Gous is amazing. I would like to see how the Warriors play tomorrow, and then I can really make a judgment. The Lions look so good on paper. So they have I think, the biggest and most balanced side. So I'm going to go with the Lions to win it because I think they have the most available to them. But I'm also leaning a little bit towards the Dolphins because of home ground advantage, and they know the conditions so well. We saw today. I mean, the Cobras were in a position of strength, and suddenly Keshav just turned it on, and the whole game spun on its head. Quick wickets fell, and the game was in the Dolphins' hand, and they ended up winning that game. So between the Dolphins and the Lions, I think for me, I think the Cobras are very talented, and I believe in that team. I believe in the coach. I believe in the players that they can do it. They just need to get that more consistency with their batting. I think their batting is letting them down at the moment. And when they spark it on, form comes out of nowhere. They're still not out of the tournament. So I think every single team has amazing, amazing players. So we never know what's going to happen. With so many games happening in such a short space of time, we never know what can happen in this particular tournament. I know I'm sitting on the fence a little bit there, but I really can't answer it 100%. I haven't seen enough games of it yet. I only saw today's 2 games. Will Harmer be available for the T20 World Cup? We'll have to ask him. I know that he said on a video on our channel that was from the Titans. We've uploaded it on our channel. Go ahead, have a look in there. It's also a web article on our website as well, cricketfanaticsmag.com. He did say he would like to be selected for South Africa. So in all formats, probably he's thinking of. So it will be up to Boucher. Currently, we have a hell of a lot of spinners in the setup, but he could be an asset. But we'll have to wait and see what Boucher says when we get an opportunity to ask him. Blink 182 or Green Day. Wow. Oh, Lord. Okay, so this is going to be a very difficult one because I used to love playing the song Wake Me Up When September Ends. I love Boulevard of Broken Dreams a lot. I love I Miss You from Blink 182. I love the anthem from Blink 182. I love the drummer as well. So Travis Barker is excellent. He's like one of my favorite drummers ever. So, and also now he's collaborated with my favorite artist of this generation, Machine Gun Kelly. So they have an album together. So it's very tricky for me to say which one I like. When it comes to from a musical perspective, I would say Green Day because they just have a good balance between popular pop rock type of music, whereas Blink-182 is very, very punk, like extremely punk. So I'll have to go with Blink-182 for now. I think Blink-182 for me. I think the Lions will win the Seaside T20 tournament. Thank you for answering your question, Mubin. So then I don't have to answer it. Any news or potential fans for the Pakistan incoming series? I haven't heard anything quite yet, actually. It's an interesting question. I doubt there will be, though. I don't think we are in a state in South Africa right now to be able to have fans. It's quite tricky, the COVID situation in South Africa, especially with the new variant that they're talking about. I don't want to talk about medical stuff. I might get everything wrong. So I'm not gonna talk from a medical perspective. Cricket and music and movies and series and stuff like that, guys. I'm a massive movie fan as well. So if you guys want to ask anything about movies, I can go on for hours about that. I should actually start a channel on movies and give you reviews on movies and series. Are you gonna watch the PSL? If I can find the time to do so, I will. I'm not actually sure. Will it all the games be played on SuperSport? Is the question. If it is, then I'll probably will watch some of the games if I have the time. It will probably run at the same time around about as I'm thinking our 4-day competition will happen then, and we have a semi-pro competition going on at the moment as well, which SA Under 19 is going to take part of, which I'm really excited to see. I hope some of those games will be shown on TV because I really want to see SA Under 19 take on some of those players, some of the semi-pro players. It's a good experience for them. Great initiative from Cricket South Africa there and Shukri Conrad to getting those SA Under 19 boys in the tournament, in the semi-pro tournaments. Unbelievable amount of experience they're going to get there. It's brilliant there. For whoever came up with that idea, well done. Provided AB de Villiers was fit and prepared to play in the World Cup, would you pick him? Me personally, I wouldn't. So why are you asking me? The reason is, okay, nobody's asking me, I'm asking myself. I'm sounding like a crazy person. Okay, so for me personally, the reason why I wouldn't is because I feel that South Africa currently is building an understanding and team structure, and partnerships are being built in the middle of a year through all the struggles that they've gone through. So once we find our best 11, particularly in the batting lineup, I feel that because we're going through so many collapses all the time and we're constantly struggling, when you pick guys like Rassi, who have been one of our top players, I feel that he's going to be the one that's going to miss out. There are so many youngsters that have performed excellently, some even better than AB in the MSL I'm talking about. And it's going to come to a situation where these guys are like working so hard to put on amazing performances, and they're putting on the numbers on the board, and they're doing everything that they possibly can in their power to be selected. And then we're going to pull AB on the last minute. My whole thing about AB was, if AB was going to come back and we pick AB, I would only pick him if he plays at least minimum one series before the World Cup. So for the Pakistan tour, when they come down, if AB puts up his hand and says, or even for the India tour before the World Cup, if he puts up his hand and he says, guys, I want to be part of this, put me in, let me show that I'm capable to play for this country again and that I want to play for this country and I'm really serious about it, then put me in the team, let me prove myself, and not prove myself, but let me play with amongst the guys, get involved with the team again, and then play. But if it's a last minute appointment, I feel it's gonna throw off the ethos, the belief, the feeling in the squad because what sort of message does that send to other people and other players? That a guy can just pick and choose when he wants to play, put up his hand and say, okay, I want to play, and then they pick him and put him in the side. I think that is not the right way to go about these type of things when it comes to picking sides. It can really divide a team. And I don't think South Africa needs a divide like that. And I'm losing so many comments, guys. Get involved with the super chat so that I don't miss your comments, guys. Cobra Kai. Miyagi though. Wow. Okay. I would have been Miyagi though if Mr. Miyagi was still alive. How's that answer? But now that Mr. Miyagi is dead, in Cobra Kai itself, I'll rather go Cobra Kai. I don't like the Cobra Kai from the Karate Kid. I prefer Miyagi-Do when Mr. Miyagi was still alive. So if you're talking about just the series and you're talking just about Cobra Kai, the series, then I'm going to go with Cobra Kai. Well, it's not Cobra Kai anymore now, obviously, because no spoilers, guys. Sorry, I'm not going to give spoilers. Go watch that TV series. It's excellent. If you're a Karate Kid fan, go watch Cobra Kai. It's excellent. What do you make of the domestic T20 today? I was impressed by Michal Pretorius. I've always been impressed by Michal Pretorius. Go check on our lockdown episode on Michal Pretorius. I can't remember the exact number. It might be from episode 48. I'm not 100% sure. But go check out our exclusive interview with him in our lockdown series on our YouTube channel. He has some excellent insight, gave some excellent insight into his career and what his aspirations were. And it was good to know that we could speak to him in such an environment, because I don't think there's a lot of interviews out there of him. So go ahead and check that out. He'll give you a lot amazing insight. I think he's an excellent all-rounder, bowling all-rounder in my opinion. You are from Pakistan? No, I'm not from Pakistan. I'm from South Africa. Do you think Morris will make available for the T20 World Cup? I think he will make himself available. If he performs well in this, they will probably look at him. David Miller has earned a total of $8.5 million after AB most played in SA. Oh, that's excellent information. RCB have a better team this year. They have everything this time. So I hope Maxwell will do it this time. Yes, Maxwell was an excellent signing, I think. He provides a little with the ball, excellent with the batting at the number 6 position. They do have a very balanced side this year. You're right. I'm hoping that the big name signing will also perform. Let's see. Every single year we say it's RCB's year. It's almost like with Manchester United at the moment. I feel that it's like that with me. It's like every single year I'm like, we win the next year. We're building. We're getting there. Like not this year, next year. It's kind of like that. I don't want that pain again. I want to see how RCB does, because I'm a big fan. Yes, cricket connoisseur, I support RCB. So just know that we are aligned with regards to that. And where are you? Are you not going to come on the stream and have a chat with me? I really would like you to come on and have a chat with me if you'd like, Mr. Aaron. It would be excellent if you come on the show. Hey, let's. I sent him a message. Sorry, that was that typing that you heard. Let's go on to the next one. Are you following the Pakistan Super League? I answered that earlier. Is Boucher the right fit for inexperienced batting unit? Okay, so let's get to talking about Mark Boucher. Initially, when Mark Boucher was selected as the coach, I could understand from Graham Smith's perspective why he got him in, because we are lacking inexperienced players within the dressing room. Having an experienced coach to coach you, giving you that experience with regards to the test knowledge that you don't get from the players around you. So because he doesn't have that knowledge from the test players around him, because there's no test player, not a lot of experienced test guys within the side, they can get that from Boucher. But I felt that it was a little bit unfair that this kicked Enoch to the side, because with regards to a domestic level, with regards to coaching levels, with regards to winning things in South African cricket, Enoch matches Boucher 100%. Now, Enoch was thrown under the bus when he got given the interim coaching position to go to India in the most difficult spinning conditions. You think that they prepared dust bowls for England? You had to see the dust bowls they prepared for South Africa. It was ridiculous. And South Africa really struggles against spinner. And so on top of that, you have a young team, inexperienced team going to India. Everybody struggled. It was a nightmare. That tour was a nightmare. And to give Enoch that as his first mission with no full control I felt very unfair. I thought that if they picked Boucher because of his test experience alone, if that was the deciding factor, that he played test cricket, I don't see how that attribute how he cannot influence a team from being an assistant coach. So the test knowledge side and the fact that he's played, he can still give that insight even if he's an assistant coach. He doesn't need to be the head coach to be able to pass on that knowledge. So that's where I was like, if that's the reason and the tipping point, he could have been assistant to Enoch. Enoch won the Mzansi Super League, something that is supposed to be the future of South African cricket, to push the South African cricket forward, to make us a competitive brand in the world, in the global scale. He won that in the first inaugural tournament. He won loads of trophies with the Lions in his first year. So when it comes to trophies, Enoch is matched Boucher. So I thought it was a little bit unfair at the time. With us deciding where we're going forward, for example, with picking a coach going forward, for me personally, I thought that Ashwell Prince would be a good nod. Now, I'm not talking about don't look at trophies and don't look at what he's doing with the Cobras and saying that it's unsuccessful, because I think what he's done at the Cobras, rebuilding the brand, building competition amongst youngsters. At the moment, I think at the Cobras, the amount of youngsters that he's promoted, he's helped promote into the international team and obviously at the test level. It's loads of things like that, how he works with youngsters, how he inspires youngsters. He could be a good coach to take us into the next generation because of his understanding of youth cricket and understanding how to take players into the next generation. So for me, when you're talking about Boucher, whether he's the right fit, it depends what type of brand we're playing. Because at the moment, we're talking about playing the smart attacking brand of cricket. And Boucher's insisting that we play that. I'm not sure if Boucher is the right man if we're going to take the next generational talents and we're going to grow them. If we're going to take our team into the future. If we're going to take the team, build a young test team, for example, with youngsters. Maybe Boucher won't be able to do that because at the Titans, He never necessarily had a lot of youngsters that he was bringing through the system. And there was a lot of experienced domestic guys that he had in that particular time when he was the coach. So when you're talking about building young teams, you need to have a guy that understands youth cricket and understands these youngsters and can take these youngsters and make them superstars, take them to that next level. Jeffrey Toyana, excellent at that. He did that excellently at the Lions when he was the coach. He has an ability to get into young cricketers' minds and change their mindsets. Shukri Conrad, another guy, brilliant with youngsters. He can make a youngster believe that he can do anything. So guys like that are the perfect guys to take the cricket to the next generation. I'm not sure if Bouch is right for that. So we're going to have to see how he can change that. We need to have a good batting coach that can stay with the Proteas and help them. I would like to see an international batting coach, someone like Jai Wardena or someone like Shankakara coming in, teaching us how to play spin. I want to see an international high caliber test cricketer that was a legend come in, maybe from overseas, that played well in spinning conditions, that can come over and coach us and teach us with regards to batting consultants. If colours can be swooped up by England, then why can't we take an overseas guy to come help us out of here? I would like to see that. I know we have a lot of talented coaches in the country, but I think that the South Africa is lacking in test experience right now and world-class experience around the world. We need more guys like that in the dressing room from a coaching level. I saw both matches. Batting level is pretty average. Yeah, and the wickets are quite slow as well. Happy for Marco Jansen. I think A.B. de Villiers has a good IPL and he feels comfortable with his own game. Then he'll play in the World Cup. Yeah, I think so. Who do you think? Who will the CSA tournament? CSA tournament in Durban. I think that you asked that question already. The AB ship has sailed. Come on, people. How long has he been retired now? No point coming back for one tournament. How about giving youth a chance and building? I think I'm all for that. I'm all for giving youth a chance. I believe that teams get built by growing together, by learning together, by losing together and winning together, by struggling together. That's how I feel teams learn. If it is possible that there are certain players at a domestic level that are performing consistently in similar age brackets, I'm talking now between 20 and 24, similar age brackets, only 4 years apart. If those guys are performing consistently and you build your team around these guys with a sprinkle of experience in between, you've got a unit that can grow together and learn together. I mean, if I was the coach, I would go for young guys. I would pick young guys in that particular squad and let them grow over the next test championship. Give them a test championship, the latter half of a test championship. I would have picked them at the beginning already. I would have picked the young squad during this test championship because there was no way South Africa was going to win the test championship. By the way we lost in India and we lost to Sri Lanka and England, it was always impossible for us to win the test championship. At that point, I would say, look, the guys, we're going to reboot. Fans, this is what we're going to do. We're going to reboot. We're going to give youngsters a chance. We're going to build this team for future success. And I would have went with that. I would have grown this team over a long period of time. If they, for me, a youngster of 21-year-old, a 21-year-old getting a 20, being bamboozled by spin in India, he's going to learn more from that experience than a 38-year-old, 35-year-old getting bamboozled by spin. By that time in his career, how much can he actually learn? How much more can he actually learn at that point? So I think a 21 by 20-year-old in difficult conditions is way more worthwhile than a 21-year-old bamboozled by spin or bamboozled by pace by a 35-year-old. That's just my opinion. I've got an awesome guest on the show. I normally sneak in onto his Instagram lives and give him some funny remarks. I hope he doesn't ban me because there's sometimes well, welcome to the stream, Mr. Cricket Connoisseur Aaron. Welcome to the show. Answering questions from fans. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing well, Khalid. I mean, for once, I'm not in a cricket shirt tonight, which is very, very strange. It feels quite odd. But yeah, I've been looking on tonight's show. Some interesting questions from the viewers out there. And yeah, you've done a decent job so far, I must admit. Done well.
Thank you, man. I'm trying to copy you because you do it excellently on Instagram now. I really. No, I'm not joking. Yeah, it's not a slight comment. You do it really excellently. I really like every single day almost you do an Instagram live answering questions, and for you to be able to have all that knowledge available to tell people, give people back what they were looking for, it's unbelievable. But I'm going to let you help me out over here because there's quite a lot of questions still to go.
Yep.
A lot about AB. I mean, AB is just flying in over here in the comment section. What is your thoughts on AB? Give the guys your notion. I know you've been saying it quite a long time, but there's some new fans from the Facebook channel that is really tuned in. So give them your say.
Well, yeah, for me, I mean, because it's in India, I mean, you spoke earlier about the RCB connection. For those who don't know, I've been an RCB fan pretty much since 2008. So for me, if AB's available, he gets on that plane. It's as simple as that. You have to get him in that squad. He's a generational talent. He's one of the best batsmen in the modern era. He's still producing the goods. He was the third leading run scorer for RCB in last year's IPL, for example. So he knows the conditions to absolute perfection. So fair enough, if this year's World Cup was in Australia, if it was in England, the West Indies, for example, maybe you could make a bit of an argument, maybe to give a younger guy a bit of a chance, as you could do in the next tournament. But because this is in India, you've got an expert of the conditions, you've got a generational batsman, someone who walks into that team, no matter which country it is. For me, AB definitely makes the plane, 100%.
And even if he like pulls a AB and says like on the last minute, so he hasn't played international. So for example, if he doesn't go on that tour to India before the World Cup, for example, right? And he doesn't say, okay, I want to be a part of the 10 before that tour. Mm-hmm. Would you still take him? If it was in the last minute and they said like they're selecting the squads for the World Cup, we're going to announce it on SuperSport, and then he knocks on the door like he did for the 2019 World Cup. Apparently, I don't know what the truth is around that. I would like to get AB on the show to actually ask him what actually happened there. I mean, that would be excellent because there was rumors that he asked to be a part of it right at the beginning, right at the end of that. So like after the teams were announced, like just before the teams were announced, he phoned up apparently the coaching staff and said he wants to be a part of the World Cup. And then by that time, they said, no, it's too late. That was the rumors that came out during the World Cup. I mean, for that news to be broken while the Proteas are struggling there in England was ridiculous. I thought, like, where was the leak? So if he does that again, like, for example, would you still take him?
Well, it's interesting because look at the West Indies, for example, and a fantastic example of that 2019 World Cup was Chris Gayle, because he hadn't played in the bilateral series leading up to that tournament. It had been Brandon King, Sunil Ambrish, John Campbell, for example, Evan Lewis as well. And yet Chris Gayle walked in and started pretty much every single match. So with a guy like AB de Villiers, we all know what he can do, what he's still capable of. He's still producing excellent numbers in T20 cricket around the world. Let's not forget he also produced those kind of numbers in the T20 Blast, had a bit in the PSL as well, played in Big Bash, performed well for the Brisbane Heat in the 7 games that he was there. So for me, absolutely. Ideally, you'd get him a series beforehand, just to see how the team dynamic works with him back in the team. Give those guys a bit of an opportunity to learn from him. And as I said, build some chemistry with him as well before going into a tournament. That'd be absolutely ideal. But even if that isn't the case, let's say he can't due to franchise commitments, and he still turns around and says, I'm available. I mean, for me, call it bias. Call it RCB bias, but for me, you just have to. You have to. It's Abraham Benjamin de Villiers, Mr. 360, the innovator. He's it's one of the best.
Can't do that. I can't do that to Rassi or to any of the guys that they pick. I just can't. I won't be able to do it. I can't. Like, I can do it. I'll pick AB if he said, even if he said, like, for me, it is more about respect. Mm-hmm. If he says, look here, I'm not going to play in the series. I'm going to be playing him for whoever in franchises all around the world. If I perform, they pick me. Then we all know, okay, cool. We'll all eyes will be on AB and we'll watch him and see whether he's going to get on form again. Then I'll be by all means great. Make yourself available or say that you're available. Then you don't have to play for South Africa. Like Imran Tahir currently. They must pick Imran Tahir. They definitely have to pick Imran Tahir. I don't see other cards that need to pick Imran Tahir. Like that guy's a genius. I don't know what the things are around me knowing Imran personally. I don't think that he's the type of guy that would say, no, I don't want to be available for South Africa. I think that any single opportunity, even for Pakistan, I was shocked that he wasn't in that squad. And I don't know who decided that he shouldn't be, or if they approached him or he didn't approach him. I don't know what the case is there, because it's Pakistan. For him to go to his hometown, home country again and play after 13, 14 years for South Africa. That would probably have brought tears to his eyes being on that field. What that would have meant for him. I mean, to be back in his country again playing cricket, I can't believe that he didn't play in that. And I don't think it would have been Imran's decision. I don't know whose decision it would be. If I'm going to speculate, I'm just speculating right now. So I don't know if it's true. If he maybe said no, he couldn't, or if he was injured. I don't know what the case is. I would really like to hear from Imran to know what actually happened there. But for example, Imran Tahir too, I think he needs to be thrown into the mix as well. He's bloody world class. And if they all put up their hand and they say, look, yeah, we want to be in contention, but we're not going to play for South Africa because you're still trying to find those couple of spots we're still looking for. There's like 3, maybe 4 spots that's still available in the South African squad. You can go ahead and test with that, but we're available. We want to be picked. Then I will be okay. Oi for away, then go for AB. Pick him on the last minute if you want to. But if he's not putting up his hand and not saying I'm available, then no, I don't want him in the side because I think it's going to throw out everything. Let's get on to the next question here, and it's if the planned West Indies tour happens in South Africa in the winter, who would be the most likely replacement for Faf in the Test middle order? The $1 million question, and I was hoping to do a Sunday podcast on this alone. So I'm not going to answer it here. A moment to think. You have to think a little bit longer. Wait until Sunday. We will make the whole podcast about this. How is that? I'm not going to answer it on this particular show.
I don't blame you at all. I mean, plenty of different, I suppose, selection choices there. It's in a way, as I said, with regards to the live stream that I did when Faf retired. What a guy! Like, you have to just have so much admiration because that must have been a ridiculously hard decision, and yet he's made it with the best South African interest in mind. I mean, what a guy! What a bloke! A legend, modern legend of South African cricket, in my opinion.
Guys, go look at that stream. We did a stream I think about an hour after the news broke. Aaron came on the you didn't come on the show for that one. You came on the show the evening. Yeah, you were on Insta at that time. Yes. Anyway, so we did a show about Faf. We got some guests on that show, but you did mention Faf on the later show as well that we had. So that's why I remember your awesome speech that you gave. But we also did a tribute. It's on our cricketfanaticsmag.com. You can see it on Facebook and on Twitter as well. I shared a tribute of Faf. I altered one of them that I wrote when he retired from his captaincy, or he gave up the captaincy. And I added some extra stuff to it, and I spiced it up a little bit more, and I republished it again because I thought it was fitting, because a lot of those things remain true. So go check out that tribute to Faf. There's a video. It's all in there as well. Some of my experiences of what I felt Faf was like. Hey, Khalid, what's your thoughts on Cullis as our batting consultant? He's England's batting consultant now currently, guys, so break our heart a little more. But while he was our batting consultant, I think there was a large portions of time that he didn't actually get a chance to spend with the team. I think particularly with the Test series. I think there was something family related that he had to go see, so he had to leave the team environment, and he wasn't part of the team at that particular time. So not a lot of the Test young players got a chance with Cullis as much as what the ODI guys got. So I saw firsthand Janneman Malan getting coached by Cullis at the nets. I was literally standing a meter away from them, and Cullis was holding up a phone, taking a video of Janneman in the nets and giving him tips, and then he'll call Janneman over, they'll watch the video together, and he'll point out certain things of Janneman. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I think on one of my shows I actually had the photo that I took, and I made it the thumbnail screenshot, because Cullis is unbelievable. His knowledge to the game, what he's learned as a player, it's invaluable. Mm-hmm. I think he's excellent, but if he's too expensive for CSA, then again, I don't know. There are other guys, like I said, there are other guys I would like to maybe try with an international coach or international legend. Like I would love Sangakkara to be our coach.
Everyone would consultant. Kumar.
Like that would be a dream, because I mean, good in spinning conditions, understands the subcontinent, good against Spain. He was flipping brilliant. That man was absolutely brilliant. Even Jai Wardner would even be a good option. I mean, I would like one of those Sri Lankan legends, actually. I think they would be excellent. I think they'll have the right temperament for South African cricket. I think they'll have the right temperament. Also, they've been around the world, and they understand. They've been in the IPL as well, so they'll have an understanding of the different genres of cricket, or the different formats of cricket. So yeah, what do you think about that? I mean, are you impressed with how much is coming out of the camp with regards to what Cullis is actually offering to England?
Well, it's a bit of a strange one because I don't think he is the main consultant for this tour to India. I think it's Trotty. We brought Jonathan Trott back, and then of course Graham Thorpe is our main batting coach.
Also a South
But in
African,
term-
I guess. So
yeah, but in terms of with regards to the
my school.
yeah, but it's made in
So
Warwickshire.
you just steal our players and you take them for your own again.
Not stealing at all. He lives in Birmingham. Not stealing. He made his entire career with the Bears, as many people should. It's a fantastic county, definitely worth the visit.
So
to anyone.
snatch them up while they're young, you say?
Not snatch them up. No. Absolutely no chance. Okay, Jonathan Trott, Birmingham. Okay, yes, he has an accent. Okay, sounds like Trotty, yeah, but he's from Birmingham now. He's a Warwickshire native, adopted son of Shakespeare's county. But no, with regards to my thoughts on Callis, I mean, there was definitely something in particular with Dom Sibley. I think he was the guy who, I actually mentioned it before Callis's appointment, he was the one I was looking to really see a bit of improvement from. And we saw that in the second innings in Gaul in the second test match. Went out there, confident, 56 and out, rotating the strike against Lasith and Bordenaya, against Duran Pereira as well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There was definitely not a seismic shift per se, but there was definitely a change in his temperament and attitude to spin bowling. And I do think that Jacques Callis actually had a role to play in that. Because I saw his dismissal in the first game, and Callis looked at him. They put a little camera shot to him and Crawley on the balcony. Callis was talking to them throughout the entire time. Again, looking at things, I think they're using a tablet or something, just looking back on footage and how they're actually playing the spin. And just after that, as I said, in that second test match, and he carried that along to the first test in Chennai as well, I think he did have a bit of a magic touch, I must admit. Let's not get carried away, though. I'm not going to go and say Sibley's turned into the best player spin of all time, but there's definitely an attitude shift, and I feel like Callis does have some part to actually do with that. He looked a lot better than he did against Maharaj, for example, or Yasir Shah. So, although I don't think it's revolutionary by any means from England, okay, Callis only is a temporary appointment, let's face it. For the time being, we could make that permanent at some point. But in the short time he's had with this England core, in particular those young batsmen, Crawley and Sibley, I think he's done a decent job. I must admit, I wouldn't mind him becoming permanent, as any country would. He's the third leading run scorer of all time in Test match cricket.
Excellent cricketer, gee was.
Yeah.
I want to actually ask him. I would love to get him on a show one day and ask him the question about that bubble that he created. He has this bubble technique that got him into that really changed his cricket career a lot to get more consistent with the bat. He put himself in a bubble and to focus. So I would really like to ask him about that actually. So we've got Dex with a super chat. Thanks a lot, Dex, with a super chat. SM management refused to select AB in the squad in 2019 World Cup, and after that, the batting fielding SA had a disastrous World Cup. So why not AB? He's a game changer. I don't want SA to have a bad World Cup again. I don't think we lost that because AB didn't play. I think what happened over there. So this is my assessment of the World Cup. Okay, so it might not be right, but Otis Gibson came in with a clear plan. He's going to play aggressive attacking brand of cricket, and that he's going to play aggressive attacking brand of cricket with his bowler specifically. It was all about bowling out the opposition. That was the mindset. And indeed, in ODI cricket specifically, you wanted to make sure that that is the case, that he bowls out opposition, cleans them out for little runs, and then chases. If you're in that situation, obviously, to chase. If you're going to bowl first, get a smaller little, if you're going to get an opportunity to let the team bats first, then obviously bowl them out for a little chase. Or if they are chasing, clean them out. And it was all about aggressive bowling and aggressive attacking cricket. Before that campaign, Dale Steyn pulled out injured. KG pulled out injured. Lungi pulled out injured. Now they played, but they had injuries leading up to the World Cup, serious injuries. KG was playing at the 75, 80%, I think. I don't think he was playing at the full 100% caliber. He was still injured. We were forced to play him. Lungi similarly. So we ended up with our best bowler and our most consistent bowler being Andile Peklikwayo. He was our main bowler and Chris Morris. So you're in a situation where you struggle to have your key bowlers. Anrich Nokia also pulled out injured out of that tournament. So there's a lot of things that went wrong for South Africa from a bowling perspective. So that's your game plan completely smashed from the start of the competition. You can't even implement your first game plan from the start. So South Africa were automatically on the back foot from the beginning. And I think that's where things went wrong for South Africa, more than just, it's our batting that was an issue. We knew our batting was an issue. That's why Otis did what he did. And it's a pity that he didn't have a better second plan in place, a backup plan in place. So Otis was in a situation where he was given a 2-year contract, and they told him, it's a 2-year contract, and one of the stipulations is that you win the World Cup. After that, you can decide whether we will decide whether we're going to renew it or not. So that's exactly what happened. We ended up having a poor World Cup, and they let him go. So unfortunately, that was that's what I think is the reason why we lost that World Cup. I don't think it's because of AB necessarily. So yes, AB would have probably helped that particular time. It was the perfect time for him to come back in that form that he was, because he showed up what form he was in the IPL after that World Cup. So unfortunate that happened. It's another heartbreak World Cup campaign for South Africa, and you guys ended up winning it. So it doesn't really, everything worked out for the best, I guess, for cricket in general.
Well, that's what I was going to actually touch upon. It's weird how the World Cup started, because obviously our two nations battled it out at the Oval, didn't we? And Imran Tahir got Johnny Bairstow in the first over. And from an English fan's perspective, I just think, oh my goodness, this is going to be a repeat of 2015 all over again, but just on home soil. And then we just went our separate ways. I think after the Ben Stokes catch, which was absolutely just mind-blowing, things just started to change. But with regards to South Africa, and you mentioned about us winning in the end, I was at Old Trafford for JP Duminy and Tahir's last ODI, and that magnificent masterclass from Faf, Van der Dusen, that fantastic catch from Quinton de Kock as well, from the bowling of Pretorius. Oh my goodness, what a game that was. And not only that, because South Africa won that set up the semi-final between India and New Zealand and Australia and England at Edgbaston. So in a way, we kind of have South Africa to thank. So I'll always be grateful for the Proteas for winning that last game. I remember being there there was a contingent of England fans. Guess who we were supporting? And they weren't the Aussies, but we were all supporting the Proteas. And it was a really, really memorable day that. Old Trafford, and a lovely way for JP and Imran to bow out of ODI cricket as well, coming off the field together. Good day, good memories from that, and even better from the semi-final and final.
It was very daunting for me that period, because it was an opportunity for England to win both World Cups, all 3 World Cups actually, I think, in that period. So obviously the Soccer World Cup, you guys were looking like you were on a roll. Unfortunately, things happened and you didn't. I know that it was over because you had lesser oppositions to face, that it kind of was papering off the cracks of the problems that were in England. But there was an opportunity. But you got into the knockout phases at least, and it was like you guys were on a roll. Like you could, if you won that, you won the World Cup for cricket, and you could possibly have won the World Cup in rugby. Imagine if you won the treble. Oh my Lord, I would have lost my mind. That would have been unbearing.
People wouldn't be able to speak to English sporting fans. Would be absolutely unbearable, as you said.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But that was all on the cards, England. So look what you guys actually threw away. Well done on the World Cup. We did the World Cup, of course. It was an excellent nail-biting win. But yes, I was so heartbroken for Kane Williamson. Yes, that guy is. I love that cricketer. He's an unbelievable human being, an unbelievable cricketer.
Absolutely.
We've got Lubabalo asking Cobra Kai or Breaking Bad. Guy, come on. Yo, you can't ask me to ask that, because funny story about Breaking Bad is when Breaking Bad came out, I started watching it and I was like, I don't know if this is my cup of tea. I mean, at that particular time, when all of that was happening, I found the series called Sons of Anarchy at that particular time. So I was heavily into Sons of Anarchy at that particular time. So much into it. Like I was like so emotionally draining that show. I was watching as well Game of Thrones, and I'm also watching at this. So all of those things I'm watching. So when someone told me to watch Breaking Bad, I was like, what is this, man? Like Bryan Cranston's face just irritated me at the time. So I was just like, I liked Jesse in it, like a lot. But
Aaron Paul, was like, good actor.
I was just like, I'm not sure if this is the show for me at the moment, because I'm watching all of this other stuff. But I watched it. I started watching Breaking Bad last year, right? During lockdown, actually. My lord, what a show! I watched it and I was like, unbelievable acting, unbelievable plot twists. Like it was just a great show, and I actually fell in love with it. It's one of my top shows now of all time. Like it's literally from start to finish. Like for example, Game of Thrones disappointed me with the last season. So it was great, and it was like my favorite thing ever. And then it just the last season was putrid. And then Sons of Anarchy ranks in my top 5. Then I had Peaky Blinders is unflippin' believable. It's one of my favorite shows.
Local to me as well. Good choice.
Yeah, yo, that's brilliant, Aaron. Cheers. That is a brilliant show. There's a lot of English shows, I must say. There's a lot of English shows that are brilliant. Then of course I loved The Sopranos as well, but that's a type of show. You know, I'm heavily I'm very enthralled by the mafia and that type of shows, man. Like gangsterism and the mafia and stuff. I study criminology, man. So like kind of because of that, there's an interest in like how these things work and why people do the way they do. And I study psychology, so it's also about how people think the way they think. All of those type of things I like to see, man. So when I watch that type of shows, like that's how I read into it. Now I watched the Goodfellas. Goodfellas was great for me. It's the best mafia movie ever created, and a lot of people will say no, Godfather. Now for me, Godfather glamorizes the mafia, whereas Goodfellas shows more realism. When it comes to Sopranos, it's literally realism. It's a guy that lives in a house next door. It could possibly be a mafia guy that living next door to you, and he actually runs a mob in America. So if you want to see a realism of what it would be like to actually be a mafia person in America in that particular era, you wouldn't even think twice. If you saw him in the supermarket, you wouldn't think he's a mafia boss, and that's what made The Sopranos brilliant. But when it comes to Breaking Bad and Cobra Kai, I can't. It's like you asking me to compare. Let me think of something else that's close like that. It's like you asking me to pick between the Proteas and the Springboks. That's a good example.
But the Proteas, obviously. Cricket Fanatics magazine. It's not Rugby Fanatics magazine.
I mean, I know, but I love the box as well. But I mean, I can't pick between. I can't. It's like the Proteas because they're your country. You have to support them either way. So like Cobra Kai and Breaking Bad, they're two different genres in movies. From a director's point of view, I have to go Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad 100% as a show. Because it's more serious than Cobra Kai. But for nostalgia, I'll take Cobra Kai. I'll watch Cobra Kai again. I don't know if you watched. Did you watch? You watched Breaking Bad, of course.
I have, yeah. Love Giancarlo Esposito. He's probably my favorite one.
Okay. Did you watch? Better Call Saul?
No, I didn't. I actually haven't.
Watch it.
No.
Watch it. Excellent. I was very surprised.
It's surprised. Like is it a spin-off or the sequel? It's one of them, isn't it?
It's a spin-off of. It's actually before Breaking Bad.
Oh, it's a prequel.
So yeah, it's a prequel, and it takes you through basically. This show it flashes to the future, which is after Breaking Bad, and then it flashes, but the time period of when it takes place is before Breaking Bad.
Right.
So it's crazy. It's awesome. Just watch it. It's excellent. We've got another super chat from Dex. Cheers.
Oh my word.
Is it from Dex?
It is.
Let's double check. Yeah, okay, these from Dex. Thank you for another one. This is one who's for you. Oh, Aces or Arctic. I don't actually know Arctic Monkeys, to be honest.
Oh, you're missing out. Well, I suppose if I had to choose between both, I'd have to go Oasis, purely because they're just iconic as an English band, aren't they? Lancashire have one of their songs as their walkout for the T20 as well. It's called Morning Glory. So I'd have to choose Oasis for that one. In terms of Arctic Monkeys, the lead singer of that, his brother, has a band called Reverend of the Makers. For anybody who plays FIFA, oh my word. Yeah, decent band them. In terms of will Crawley play the third test, I believe that he's fit. So whether or not England will play him because of the return of Johnny Bairstow, that's a completely different question. If it is between Crawley and Bairstow, I think Bairstow will get the nod purely because of his performances in Sri Lanka and the fact that Crawley's coming back from an injury. So hope that answers your question there, Dex. I think that Bairstow would play over Crawley. And in terms of who the next white ball captain is after Owen Morgan, oh my word, that's a difficult question. In terms of ODI cricket, I mean, the likely successor would probably be Joe Root or Ben Stokes. And in terms of white ball in T20, vice captain Jos Buttler. I feel like that's who England would go with. He's the next in line per se.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got one more over here that I'm going to answer because there's so many. Do you know if the Momentum Protest woman will be on Supersport? It should be. If it isn't, I'm going to start a riot because that should be. I'm sure it will be because of the combined rights that's India and between India and South Africa at the moment. There's quite a lot of crossovers. I mean, the CSA T20 Challenge is playing in India at the moment. So if they can get the CSA T20 Challenge in India, then I'm sure Supersport will be covering the Momentum woman. Excellent series that's going to be. Two top teams. I mean, I think it was very unfortunate the way the Protest woman got knocked out of the tournament. I mean, they beat India in the tournament as well, in the World Cup, and so it was like one of those situations where I feel like they were really hard done by the way they lost to Australia with the rain. I mean, I really think they need to change the DLS rule to make it more fair. I think at the moment in a T20 game, because in the T20 game it's a bit unfair because chasing, for example, 70 of I can't remember what it was 70 balls, 120 of 70 or 90 balls, 120 of 90 balls is a lot easier than chasing 70 of less balls or 40 balls, for example. If you get what I mean. I mean that the 120 of 90 is a little bit easier it's a better target to try and reach, and it was hard for the Proteas women to be able to get that in the space of time that they were given. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning into the show. Thank you a lot, Aaron, for jumping on the stream. I really enjoyed chatting to you always. Everybody out there on Facebook, please hop over to our YouTube channel and subscribe there if you're watching it on Facebook. That's where all of our content is going to be. I'm going to be trying to do a live on Facebook and on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time on a Friday evening. It will be more of shows like this interactive with you guys, where you guys can ask us questions. I'm going to try to do that. Unless there's something important happening on a Friday, then you'll get your regular daily show. So don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, subscribe, and all of those things. Get involved in the Patreon. The Patreon link is in the description. So get there too. Yeah, you can join our community. You can ask us questions in the Discord. We'll do exclusive content for you. Maybe we'll do like a special late night show for you guys where there will be it will be uncensored, so you won't worry about swearing and all of those things because it will be exclusively private. We can have a go at each other and it'll be a lot of fun. So if you guys want that, join our Patreon and let's see if we can maybe produce a show like that for you guys, for the adults on the Cricket Fanatics magazine channels. To all of the guys, if you guys have a small business and you're looking to make sales online, even if your business is offline, we have a free tutorial as well on this channel. Or just email us at cricketfanaticsmag@gmail.com. And we'll get in touch with you and help you guys promote your businesses. Aaron, if you know any businesses in England, let us know as well. If they want to promote on Cricket Fanatics magazine, just give them a good talk over there. If you have the magazine, you can subscribe. It's free. Download the latest magazine. The link is on the screen and in the description on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. Thanks a lot, Aaron, for coming on the show. We'll see you guys again on Sunday evening with the podcast show. Take care, everyone.